We got one story here, it just came out. Judge denies bail for R. Kelly over sex abuse case in New York City. The judge agreed with prosecutors that freeing Kelly from jail would create a risk of him fleeing or tampering with a witness. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly denied a defense motion asking to release him on bond and allow home detention. She said a May 18th trial date. Well, let me give you some information here. This is federal court. That case is in federal court. Currently, Kelly is in custody in Chicago, so he wasn't there. He's not going anywhere. In theory, he would have to post a bond to get out in Chicago, then he'd go over to federal court, then he'd have to post a bond there. There's two different things going on here, state court, federal court. Federal court, you generally either in or you're out. Rarely do you post bond. You're not posting bond very often in federal court. The judge has strict conditions and lets you out. You check in with the, why am I blanking out? The federal pretrial release people. They have requirements, you check in. State court, you get the whole variety. You can get an own recognizance release, an OR. You can get a bond, $5,000, $500,000, whatever. You get a bond with house arrest, which means you have to check in with house arrest, and there's 3 different levels. The high level monitoring is what people mostly associate with when they hear house arrest. You go to and from work, and that's it. After you're on house arrest, you prove yourself worthy, they let you go to the grocery store, let you go to church. You can always go to your friendly attorney's office. So, you can have a house arrest condition in state court. You can have a bond without house arrest, which means you post the bond, out the door you go, and you got to come back from court. The factors a court looks at, whether it's federal or state, regarding bail/bond is 2 big genres, 2 big areas. Number 1, are you a flight risk? That is an issue. Will you come back to court? So, if you're a tourist here in Las Vegas and you get busted for something, you do not have ties to the community unless you have family present. So that would be an obstacle. One thing they said with R. Kelly is, let's see, where did he go? Oh, is that he is flight risk because he would fly, take off, not come back. But here's a new response. Kelly's attorneys claimed he is so broke he could not afford to flee. So he can't even get in a bus and go anywhere. R. Kelly, moral of the story, don't diddle around with little girls, right? Don't yell at Gayle King. Don't get in her face and stand up like you did on the CBS interview he did. Don't do that. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. So 1, tie to the communities. 2, danger to the community. Are you a threat to the community? So if you're charged with murder, a crime with a gun, armed robbery, burglary with a gun, things like that, that's considered a threat. Guns go in the bad column, especially nowadays with all these jackasses shooting up everywhere in high schools and schools and movie theaters and all these places. Gun crimes have always been considered very serious, but more importantly, they're taking them real serious. Judges and prosecutors are hammering people using guns in crimes. Stay away from the guns. So 2 big elements, once again, a bail and what it should be set at. Ties to the community and threat to the community. So are you a danger? Or are you going to come back to court? Innocence, guilt is not as big of a factor because you have a presumption of innocence. So R. Kelly's got big problems. He ain't going anywhere soon.
TheVegasLawyers.com. Lawyer up.